That guilt was there. I could never understand why. Then I took up psychology. I said the only remedy is I have to change the way I think and I behave. So when I studied psychology, I understood why people were unhappy. So I just realized that our life has two parts to it. There is an inner world and there is an outer world. Now this inner world is ruling all of us. So there are two worlds that people are living in. I feel that happiness is.
What impact did it have on your children? When you say you had this guilt phase that you were...
When I used to talk to them,
Yeah.
I used to say, oh my God, I spoke to them. I said,
Yeah.
was I a bad mother? They said, yes, mommy, of course you used to yell.
But what about the cases that end in misery, like you said?
Yeah, I don't want to take those specific names.
No, you don't have to take names.
No
but
name of, even I don't want to say like
Yeah.
what sort of misery. Bad. People lose lives. So this was a class 12 student and the mother rang me up and she said that my son is acting, he has his exams, CBSE exams are coming through and he's acting very stressed and all, and he's breaking things and he's very violent and I feel that he may harm himself. Doctors are not God. They tell us people tell us you are in place of God or you are God. No, we are not. We are human beings. We are human beings doing our duty. We have our own emotions and we have to bear the emotions of others also.
What if the call that saved your life came from someone you've never met? What if hope and survival were just one conversation away? Today's conversation could matter more than you think. It could actually save a life. Some people talk about mental health, and then there are people who stand with others when life begins to fall apart. Today's guest is one of them. Dr. Professor Sona Kaushal began her journey in medicine, teaching in medical colleges, shaping future doctors, but her calling pulled her beyond classrooms into homes, schools, disaster zones, and moments where hope was hanging by a thread. She's a medical doctor, a neuropsychologist, a counselor, and a happiness coach. She has worked with children battling pressure, families crushed by stress, students facing exam anxiety, soldiers carrying invisible wounds, and people standing at the very edge of life itself. If stress has stolen your peace, if mental health matters to you or someone you love, stay with us. Because today on Courage Coach, we are joined by someone who doesn't just study the mind, she protects it. Dr. Sona Kaushal, thank you so much for being with us. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you with us.
Thank you, Vikram. The honor and the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for inviting me.
I remember the first time we met, at the cafe, you talked something about, and that has stuck with me. You said a phrase, not all is hunky dory, which means all these people we see, just going out, chatty, looking happy, but there's something going on under the hood. Why do you think so many people appear to or seem to be happy on the surface, but they are struggling, inside?
Vikram, it's a story which people are telling themselves. Like, our life has two parts to it. There is an inner world and there is an outer world. Now, this inner world is ruling all of us, and the story we tell to ourselves of the things we see, hear, perceive. The story which we are telling us is making us who we are. So everybody today knows that it's important that we should enjoy, we should be happy, because mental health awareness has spread. So people are trying to be happy and they're trying to mix, but then what actually is going on inside their mind is a different story. So there are two worlds that people are living in. I feel that happiness is only there when these two worlds get synchronized. So people are living double lives, because when they come to me for counseling, they say we are very happy, we go to parties, we meet people, we are everything is okay at home, but this is the problem.
Okay.
But this is the problem. So they have anxieties and stress and depression and all that while they are happy outside. So I said it's looking very hunky-dory, everybody is laughing, but you never know what is going on inside their minds.
I mean, this is very interesting, and especially in our culture. And one thing I've seen is people do not want to express their feeling, how they're feeling. And everybody, is it a part of our culture that we always like try to hide and show the brighter side, that we are happy? Why is it that?
Because people feel that it's a stigma to be unhappy. Mental illness, mental not being mentally well or emotionally happy is still a stigma. At least in India, it is.
Mhm.
So people feel that if you're not happy, it's something to be ashamed of. Though it's a part of life,
Mhm.
because nobody has ever told you that life is going to be one straight path of happiness and one straight path of emotional wellness. There are going to be ups and downs, and challenges are the things which are going to improve you.
Mhm.
So once awareness is there, and that's what you're doing on
Mhm.
this wonderful
Mhm.
platform, you're spreading this awareness
Right.
that you need courage, and
Mhm.
Courage Coach is the platform that you're in. So you need courage to overcome all these problems, and then to tell people that all is not well, because it's okay not to be okay.
It's okay not to be
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Yeah.
okay. Perfectly, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you have to try and get back to okay again.
Right.
So that needs effort, that needs counseling, that needs awareness. So that is what the message has to go out.
And if people go on living like this, like trying to, hide their suffering and mental health issues, what are the long-term implications of it?
They're going to mess up their lives, Vikram. Like, there's a lot of neurochemical transmissions which goes on in the brain. So
Right.
there is this the brain and this is the heart.
Right.
So the brain is suffering most with all the negativity thoughts and the emotional upheavals you're having, because then these neurotransmitters which are released there are harming your body. A lot of cortisol is there in stress, and cortisol is damaging you. It's leading you into hypertension, sugar elevations in your blood, GIT problems, asthmatic problems, cognition problems, memory loss, lots of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's all due to stress. So psychosomatic, they are called
Psycho.
psychosomatic,
Mm-hmm.
related to your psyche, your somatic illnesses. So when people are there, hiding their things which are going on in their minds, which they can get out of with
Right.
awareness, empowerment, and knowledge. If they come to us for counseling, we help them overcome these challenges and feel happy again. So once
Mm-hmm.
they are out of that, then it's going to be fine. But if they keep it subdued, as they say, that cortisol, acute stress leads to chronic stress, and that is so very harmful to the body.
You mentioned psychosomatic. So psychosomatic, your mental challenges or mental suffering affects your body, physiological,
Yes.
aspects as well. Um, what are the kind of stuff? How much of it, our mind or suffering affects our bodily illnesses?
So much of it, so much of it, 85%. That has been
Really?
recorded. 85 of the illnesses of the patients you see
Mhm.
outside a doctor's clinic
Yeah.
are most probably psychosomatic. Even
Mhm.
immunity is suppressed with your stress. So
Mhm.
you lead to immune diseases which are so very prevalent today.
Mhm.
Cancer is also somehow related to your stress. Everything. So 85% of the problems are there due to the stress in your mind, or they are
Mhm.
aggravated by the stress in your mind. So ultimately, and nobody pays much heed to this. They keep treating the symptoms which come up, which is good, which is
Mhm.
a must, of course.
Yeah.
You have to treat, but the root cause is still there. No? The stress is still there, the anxiety, the negativity, whatever it is, that's still there in the mind. So until that is tackled, that is harnessed, until that root cause is tackled, you won't get out of it. It will keep coming up again. So
Right.
patients keep going to the doctors again and again with the
Uh,
symptoms.
are we prepared? Are health professionals prepared to tackle this or combat this psychosomatic illnesses?
Not very much.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to say that.
Yeah.
Not very much. We keep going back to them and telling them,
Mhm.
and we do have conference. I'm a medical doctor myself,
Mhm.
so we ask, and they do know it, of course, that counseling or therapy is to be needed with the treatment they are giving.
Right. Mhm.
Both of them are equally important.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then
Yeah.
that the therapy, counseling part, awareness part is neglected.
Is neglected
Yes,
completely.
yes. And the treatment part is given, and that doesn't solve the purpose, because the problems keep cropping up again.
How well are the physicians or GPs prepared to provide healing, or at least some sort of how should I say, relief to the patient related to psychosomatic illnesses? Like, if they know, okay, somebody goes, I'm having a stomach ache, and the general practitioner or physician knows that that is caused by some stress. So how does he respond? Does he, refer them to a neurologist or psychologist, somebody to treat the mind, or how does that play out? Do the doctors, physicians do that, or how do they treat them?
I think just about 10% do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of them just ignore it.
Most of them don't. They don't ignore. They treat. They say we are doing the counselings. They say we are doing the counseling plus the treatment. So are they prepared? Do they know how to
Yeah.
do it? That is an issue. Or are they doing it? Or are they just treating? Because
Yeah.
we are very frank on this platform. It's the bread and butter. Why would anybody like their patient to go to someone else? So that tendency should stop. I mean, we should have amongst doctors, physicians, healers, whatever. Healing is in so many areas.
Yeah.
We should always collaborate for the welfare of the patient. We should send it to other people also, wherever it's the necessity is there for the remedy.
And you think this collaboration is lacking right now?
Yes, definitely.
There's no
it's
collaboration,
lacking.
right?
No, it's not
Yeah.
there. Though, of course, we keep telling them the patients I get are into so much of medicines,
Yeah.
which with therapy they feel
Yeah.
much better. With
Right.
counseling they feel much better. And because I have a double-edged benefit of being a doctor and a psychologist, so I can manage the medicines also. So I'm able to wean off some of the medicines which I feel are not needed because they recover with the counseling and therapy. So that message should go across to everyone that please wake up. Your patient will get much better, and will get better much sooner if you send him for counseling, for therapy, because at the root cause of most of their issues is some problem, some challenge which is causing stress to the patient.
And how can we get to that root cause? Who will help?
The psychologist, people like us who are into therapy, who are into counseling, the healers. That is where when we talk, when they come to us, and that is, we have therapies. I use cognitive behavior therapy. That's my best. I like it
CBT,
very
yeah.
much. Yes. So because I feel at the root cause of all the issues, your feelings, your behavior are your thoughts, and it's a triangle. Your thoughts, feelings, behavior, they all influence each other. So we go and go to the root cause of that and try. And we don't change the patient, we empower the patient, and he does the work himself.
Right.
So we empower the patient how he has to work on himself to get better, and
Right.
that helps definitely with the medicines. I will never say that don't take medicines, and I don't say that all diseases are psychosomatic, but I always tell my patients that whenever you have an issue, go to the doctor, go to the physician, go get all your tests done. Get all your blood tests or whatever tests he advises you, get them done. At the end of it, when all the reports are normal, because that is what is the main thing with these people, that all they say ki ma'am, all the tests are normal, there's nothing wrong, but my problem is still persisting.
Wow.
Then that needs help. That needs psychological assistance. But if there is something wrong in the tests there, in the blood tests or whatever, the ultra radiological tests, that needs handling too at that level. At the physical level, and at the mental level, emotional level, that needs handling by counseling and therapy.
Now, the challenge there I find is, when they go to the physician and the physician doesn't refer them because, like you said, they just want to treat them themselves, keep giving them medicine.
Yeah.
So
it's okay because they feel they're competent enough, and the medicines help.
The medicines help and they feel they're competent enough. But you said the root cause can only be tackled or really fought with therapy. And now if they don't go to the therapy, there's this void. So because physicians want to keep them to themselves.
They keep coming back with the
They keep coming
symptoms.
back to them until they find a way to the next step, which is therapy, right?
Yes.
And so how many people actually, did you say 10% actually make it
10,
to the therapy?
15, 20%. India is gradually picking up to therapy.
Okay, they are picking up.
They are gradually picking up.
Okay.
It's more in the metro cities.
Right.
It's more in the tier 1 cities. The
Yeah.
other places are gradually picking up to it.
Right. And so let's say the 90% who actually don't pick up, who are not in the urban areas and don't have that education or awareness, how do they tackle and what happens to them?
Nothing, they get better. They wean off the medicines, then they take the medicines again, then that goes on.
Mm.
That goes on till they get off the medicines, till they get better, or till they get worse, and then they are referred to bigger hospitals.
How can they get better? If it's a root cause is somewhere to do with, like you said, stress.
Medicines help, na Vikram.
No,
Like
but
medicines are going to help you a lot.
medicine will help, but you said something, the stress. I'm talking about the stress, and the stress is being caused by
Yeah.
some other reason.
Yes.
And until you get to that reason,
Yeah.
let's say you are having some issue in life that is being a stress.
Yeah.
Maybe you've lost a lot of money in business or
Yes,
something.
yes, absolutely
And so
right.
that has to be tackled.
And but the problem, Vikram, is that
Yeah.
we are a very jumbled lot in India.
Mhm.
We have an educated lot, an
Yeah.
aware lot, and we
Yeah.
have a lot which is not so aware or educated. Now, when you're dealing with those people who are from the rural background, who are not that much well, it's very difficult to counsel them because they want medicines. The counseling doesn't go well with them, na. They'll say,
Why?
"Okay,"
Why doesn't it
they
go?
don't understand. They say, okay, fine, okay, that is the problem, okay, but medicine mindset, and it's a mindset they have that
Is it a
medicine,
mindset problem?
of course,
Mhm.
that we want medicines. At the end of the day, they'll say, a lot of my friends tell me that the patients who I counsel with, they say, you're just going to talk and we have to pay you for talking. Is it the talk therapy? Why should we pay you just for talking? Because patients come that a doctor means medicines. So
Mm.
that mindset has to gradually change, that
Mhm.
doctors also mean counseling, therapy.
Mhm.
And there are problems which can be solved. Like supposing there is a relationship problem, a marital problem, a couple counseling. No, that they don't need medicines until and unless they come with anxiety and depression, which needs to be tackled with medicines. But a conflict, a dispute just needs therapy, no?
Yeah, conflict or dispute needs therapy.
Therapy. But
Yeah.
in the rural areas,
Yeah.
they won't go for therapy. Na? They'll keep
Exactly.
fighting and they'll end up with
Yeah.
by just being abusive.
Yeah.
It's just that awareness has to come up.
And if you're treating the anxiety without, tackling or looking into the cause of it, the root cause of it, then that's not going to get solved.
It's
It'll
like,
just,
yeah.
it'll just maybe, what do you call, suppress the
Yeah,
symptom.
it's like a tree, Vikram.
Yeah.
There's a tree which is there in front of your window. Now, it's not letting the sunlight come in.
Yeah.
So you want sunlight. So
Yeah.
your gardener comes and shrubs off the leaves.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
Now the light comes in, you're happy.
Mhm.
But how long? The leaves are going to come back again because the root is green.
Mm.
So this is the thing, that shrubbing of the leaves is the medicines.
Mhm. Right.
You feel the sunlight comes, you
Yeah.
feel happy for
For a
some
while,
time.
for some
For a
time, yeah.
while. But the root is still green there, na?
It's
So
gonna
the
come back.
leaves are going to grow back again. It's going to be dark again.
Mhm.
So again, you need shrubbing.
Mhm.
So that repetition of medicine goes on until and unless you dig out the root and the plant.
Mhm.
So that digging out of the root is therapy,
Mhm.
going to the stress part of it.
Yeah. Let's take it, somebody is not able to come out of it. Okay, he's just in that loop. He keeps taking anxiety medicine and it goes on for years. How far have you seen people go because of as a chronic existing or ongoing?
Now, it's a very sorry state of affairs. Na? People are on psychiatric drugs for so long. And of course, many psychiatric problems need medicines, right? They need medicines. But some of them with therapy need lesser medicines or get better faster. Like the early stages of depression. Anxiety, early stage, you can cope, you can build up their coping strategies so that, just with therapy and coping, they come out of it. But if you don't, then they'll go into the second stage, the third stage of that disease. And then, of course, it's going to get worse. And then they are sick for long and long. And then their family is sick, their work suffers. The worst part is with somebody who has an emotional or mental illness at home, the whole family suffers.
That's true.
And then first they are sick, then the whole family is sick because then they are in stress, anxiety, their work suffers.
Yeah.
So the only solution is be aware, go for help, because help is available. And the crux of the problem, the message which we want to send out is that mental illness, emotional illness is as treatable, as preventable as any other physical illness.
It is treatable.
It is treatable. And it is most of it is preventable also. I work on prevention.
What are some of the other cures or not cures or treatments apart from CBT and therapy?
Like it's an eclectic sort of a treatment. What
Mhm,
works best for the patient, Vikram?
mhm.
What otherwise there is group counselings, there are family counselings, there are couple counselings, right?
Mhm.
Then there are so many more of it also, transactional. But it depends on how you what works for you and the patient.
How important is diet in this mental illness, fighting mental illness?
Diet is important. Diet is important for a normal person, for a sick person, for everyone. Diet is the root cause. Diet is your nourishment. And diet also, Vikram, let me tell you,
Mhm.
you're talking of the diet which we are taking in normally, what we are eating, drinking. There is
Right.
an emotional diet also. There is something called an emotional
What is
diet
that?
also. I'll tell you what that is. First, the diet which you're talking of related to your health and all,
Mhm.
that is very important because lots of studies have come
Mhm.
up which have said that don't go into junk food, don't go into overfried food, take less of salt. All that is so much available on the internet, on the news. So
Mhm.
everybody is well aware of a balanced diet. Good amount of carbohydrate, good amount of proteins,
Mhm.
and some
Mhm.
fat, lot of fruits so that you get your microvitamins, a lot of water, and less of coffee and caffeine,
Mhm.
and less of these bottled drinks which are
Mhm.
full of sugars.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that. So go for balanced diet. If you can't take 3 meals a day, which we were brought up with, breakfast, lunch, and breakfast and dinner, take smaller meals the whole day long, smaller portions of good healthy diet. That also serves the purpose.
Like smaller meals, like 6 meals a day, or how many meals would you recommend?
My like when
Yeah.
students come to me for counseling or exam times and
Yeah.
all, so they say we don't feel hungry and our parents push us to take breakfast
Mhm.
and they push us to take lunch and we don't feel, so we just tell the parents that give them healthy snacks in between whenever they feel
Okay.
hungry. So don't stuff them with food that they don't desire to
Yeah.
eat.
But we still come from that mindset,
Yes, we
right?
have,
That
yeah, we don't have to stuff ourselves. We can take smaller meals, but I feel that breakfast is a must. For me,
breakfast. Okay.
breakfast is a must
Mhm.
because I have been sleeping at least 7, 8 hours in the night.
Mhm.
So it's a fasting. My blood sugar goes fasting. So I have no glucose in me by the time I get up in the morning. So
Right.
I need to have breakfast. And more important, when you go for an exam, a breakfast is or any interview or anything,
Mhm.
a breakfast is a must because it boosts up your blood sugar levels.
Mhm.
And I also recommend my patients to go for a walk with after having a cup of tea and some biscuits or some juice or something,
Mhm.
not empty stomach, because you have been
Yeah.
empty stomach late in the night.
Right. Right. The whole night. Yeah. I've also heard, talking about diet, I've heard that, changing diet has also cured some of the mental illnesses uh, as severe as schizophrenia. Is that possible?
I'm not much into all that. I
Yeah.
mean, I recommend diet as a way of nourishment of the body, and mental illness, of course, if your body is healthy and if you are also into other life skills like walking, exercising,
Mhm.
being happy, and eating healthy and sleeping well,
Mhm.
of course you will refrain from going into any sort of mental or physical illness. But as such, people say that have nuts, good quantity
Right.
of nuts and cereals, so these are things which keep coming up. For me, I feel a balanced wholesome diet is good enough.
Are there any type of food that affect the sleep?
I feel it's my personal this thing
Yeah.
that dinner should be roundabout at a roughly 8ish 9ish you have your dinner.
Mhm.
And then for me what works best is I have a cup of milk before I go to sleep, because milk does soothe you up and puts you to sleep again.
Mhm.
Because it's a soothing thing. So milk does, a warm glass of milk, that's what we recommend. And sleep hygiene is something we'll talk of. It's a whole new chapter which we have to talk of, how to sleep, when to
Mhm.
sleep, and how to we go off to sleep.
Mhm.
You spoke of emotional diet,
Yeah.
so I'll tell you something of that. This was physical diet and
Yeah.
sleep and
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Mhm.
Emotional diet is something which we are feeding our mind. Of course, it's
Yeah.
getting the nourishment that you're eating.
Right.
You're getting all the nutrients
Mhm.
through your food to your mind.
Right.
That's helping it to sustain itself.
Mhm.
But as a psychologist, what your mind is also feeding is what you're reading, what you're seeing, and what you're hearing.
Mm.
So what you're reading, what you're seeing, and what you're hearing,
Mhm.
and that is in such overwhelming amounts now because of the social media.
Right, right.
So the emotional diet which is going into the brain mind makes it work overtime, creates its
Yeah,
thoughts,
yeah.
overthinking, and whatever problems you're having mainly is through the emotional diet
Emotional
which you
diet.
are taking in. So we have to be very careful what our children are seeing, hearing, or
Yeah.
seeing, hearing, or seeing, hearing. Three things I said, no?
Yeah, seeing, hearing,
And seeing
reading.
and reading.
Yeah. So overall, whatever they are consuming through social media
Correct. Very,
and
very.
electronic
That is why
media,
they are
yeah,
saying, na, be restricted, restrict or what social media is giving you because half of it is all fake.
it's fake. Yeah,
90% is all
that's true.
fake.
That's true. And not only the kids, but also we as grown-ups. I've seen a lot of people, grown-ups, adults, who are getting addicted to it.
We are going into guilt. Addiction is there and we are going into guilt. So many of
Yeah,
parents are coming to me
yeah,
with such guilt issues
yeah.
because parenting has totally changed over. We are, the West is coming up with theories that it's all your childhood, it's all your inner trauma, it's all what you have done,
You're right.
and that has affected your child. And gentle parenting and all that it's coming up with, so parents feel guilty that, oh my god, maybe we've been very wicked parents. So we have to, at the end of the day, we have to be very careful that we should never be in guilt. I feel that how can a parent ever be wicked? Whatever it does is always for the good of the child.
And it's not always that they do right.
No,
They do make mistakes,
but
but
everybody's
the
flawed.
intention,
Yeah.
intention is good,
Intention
right?
is good, absolutely. And everybody is flawed. Nobody is perfect. In
Right.
this world,
Of
everybody
course, our
has some
parents have made
flaws.
mistake, but they were carrying their own stress and trauma in their life, unresolved issues, right?
But
That
that's
trigger.
okay. That's okay. That is life. That is what our parents carried too. We haven't come out flawed in any way. That time when I was growing up,
Yeah.
there was no psychology there. There was no parenting there.
Right.
So my parents brought me up the raw way, the way they had been brought up. Yes, we need to have some changes because of the social media or the differences which have come up over the years. But just blaming yourself that you're responsible for your child's inner hurt or your child's inner child healing and all that is causing a lot of guilt.
It is causing a guilt, but I do understand that it can have parents can have an impact.
There are toxic parents. We
There are
have to be
toxic parents
aware of that.
or abusive. I've done
Yes.
so many transformational
Yes, yes.
stories where I've seen adults, and of course, what I feel, okay, if whatever your parents have been, now the responsibility is not on them or blaming. You have to take responsibility. Whatever has happened has happened. You can't go back and change the past, right?
Right, absolutely. It's my story too, Vikram. I went into psychology because when my children were growing up, I was working as a full-time doctor. I was teaching in the medical colleges.
Yeah.
I was a professor of medical biochemistry. So I was there in the medical, I had nothing to do with psychology, and I was full-time looking after my children and doing my work as a doctor.
Right.
But then gradually social media entered our lives. So I heard these videos and all. By the time my children grew up
Yeah.
and they flew out of the nest, they've gone
Okay.
for their careers and their jobs. But then I started hearing, seeing these videos and all, and I started blaming myself a lot because whatever they're saying were the things which I had done. I had spoken harshly, I had been rude at times. We have to do that when our children are growing up. But then I felt that I had been a bad mother, though, of course, I'd been a very devoted mother. I had brought up my children with full time care, with whatever knowledge, and to the best of my effort. But if a person like me can start feeling guilty by seeing those videos, think of the general public. And then I had to rewire my brain, and then I had to convince myself, no, I had done my best. And that is what everybody has to do now, because you've done your best in whatever you're doing as a teacher, as a parent, as whatever. You did your best. Past is over and gone by.
Past
The
is over.
future is there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can always rewire and move on instead of blaming yourself by looking behind. That's what I feel.
What impact did it have on your children when you say you had this guilt phase that you were teaching and maybe you didn't spend enough time
They
with them?
agreed to me when I used to talk to them.
Yeah.
I used to say, oh my God, I spoke to them. I said,
Yeah.
was I a bad mother? They said, yes, mommy, of course you used to yell. Who will say you never yelled? But then I said, I'm feeling guilty. Then they said, no, mommy, there's nothing to feel guilty because they've turned out well. They're doing their work well. So see the end result of it, na? If the end result is okay and you've got good children who are doing well, who are thriving, so
Yeah.
why blame yourself? But emotional diet is 24 hours when you see those things which tell you that a parent has done something and this is not the way to talk, this is not the way to speak, because that is something you've done all the way long. So you feel maybe I've done something wrong. No, it's okay because your intentions were
I
good. You
mm,
did it for the best of your child and your children have turned out well.
I also believe it's the emotional closeness you have. How do you feel? Are they close to you? Are you accessible today? Because when children don't grow up with, having that access to their parents, they might carry that into adulthood. How do you feel? And no matter where they're living, whether they're living in India or the States or wherever, how accessible are you today to them?
The phones are there. These were things which were not there when we were growing up. The
Absolutely.
phones are there, video calls are there.
I'm
I
talking about
don't,
emotional accessibility.
emotional access is there through the
Yeah.
phones, no? Like
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
communication is the way to emotional access, na?
I say communication is
Is
never a technical problem.
it's never a technical problem. So when you're communicating, like when I was growing up, I was very close to my, because I was the youngest child, so my parents really doted on me, which was not very correct, which I feel now, because I was the youngest child, so all their energy was with me because the others were out. So that I had to rewire myself again and come out of that feeling so important all the time, because that is what my parents had made me feel. But that time there was no phones, there were nothing. Communication was letters. So we still kept up our bonding by the letters. We used to write letters every day. I love you, Papa. I love Beta. Look after you. Look after yourself. Now we have phones, so we do it on video calling. So the emotional bonding is always there if your communication. Communication is something which should always be there. Maybe verbal, maybe written, maybe by calls, maybe by text, but keep a communication open.
But do you believe that despite all this, that we have the most advanced communication technology, but still there is lack at times where parents don't call or the kids will not call and there's a distance. I've lived, since I was 7, I've lived away from parents. And what you're saying, I can totally, writing was the only mode of communication at that time. Today we have WhatsApp and whatnot. But still, I'm living in Germany for the last 10 years. I was living there, and my parents were here, my brothers were here. And yet, at times, I felt, hey, nobody's calling me, nobody's doing this. So, what I started doing, I saw this one thing. I saw one guy speaking. If you want to connect with people, if you have to reach out. Never think everybody is roaming around, they're circling around their own self and their own problems. You got to reach out. And I started doing that, and started working hard on it. But it does happen that parents and children don't communicate as often as they should because of their childhood experiences.
Vikram, what I mean to say today is psychology has come round a full circle. And what I believe in is it's all about you, right? I am nobody to judge what the other person is thinking, what the other person is going on, what is going. There is nothing, there is no machine to find out what you're thinking. I cannot tell,
Yeah.
even if you're my child or you're my brother or my parent. What is going on in your mind is it totally yours.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on in my mind is mine.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, my focus is all about me.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm feeling bad or sad, I have to set myself right. If I want to talk, I should go, like you said, I should go forward and talk. If I'm feeling lonely, I should reach out. But waiting and having an expectation or generalizing that this should be the modus operandi or this should be the way the other person should contact me or be with me is expectations, and expectations hurt because they never meet your level of whatever you want. So stop having expectations, focus on yourself. And that is why I have built this happiness coaching business. It's all about me. So if I have to set my clock of emotional wellness right by doing whatever I want to do, if I want to talk, I talk. If I want to uh, reach out to someone or whatever, if I want to go and see a movie to feel good, I should. Because if I'm happy, my environment is happy, my people around me are happy, and whatever work I do is going to be good because I'm in a happy mood. If I'm yelling and shrieking, nobody will work with me also. My family, my parents, my family will be unhappy because I'm unhappy. So I don't have to set the clock right there. I have to set the clock right within me of myself.
people who have young kids at home right now, um, and they're learning about parenting as they go through social media, through their parents, through how they've grown up, their own experiences. What is the best thing parents can do to their children?
Be assertive parents. My parenting, it's be assertive, empowered parent.
What do you mean by assertive?
Empowered,
Can
I
you?
mean, I'll tell you.
Mhm.
Empowered parents means be aware of whatever is happening around the world today. Because what happened when you were growing up was different. There was no TV, there was no social media, there were things were totally different. And it's a generation change and will keep on happening generation after generation. So today where you are in, be aware of what your children are surrounded with the environment. Be aware of whatever technology is there. You should know it so that you know what your children are doing. Secondly, be empowered by also knowing that what there are challenges children are facing at school, with
Mhm.
studies, with career. So be aware of what challenges are there. Once you are empowered, then know you know what there is to know. You are knowledgeable, because knowledge and awareness causes prevention of many things. So once you are empowered with whatever has to be known, if you are not empowered, go and ask for go for parenting classes. Go and learn how you should parent, because things are changing and parenting is a skill which needs to be updated time to time. You cannot go by whatever the it has been said that I was brought up like this and I will bring up my kids like that. Basically some core things will be the same: honesty, no abuse, respect. Those core things will be that, but the strategies change over the time with generation to generation. So number one there, and number two, I believe in being assertive. Like, I don't believe all this nonsense about parents being friends and all that. You can be a friendly parent, but your children have enough friends to be friends with. You are a parent, you have to keep that boundary. You have to keep that boundary of respect, of being available for your kids whenever they need you. And assertive means you're not an angry parent, but you have your boundaries and you're clear with whatever you want your children to do or be, and you're there for them whenever they want you.
Mhm.
So that is an assertive parent.
Today we see it's such a busy life, and both the men and women are working, going out and all. When can they find time to track their children in the sense of know what's going on, be aware what's, you know, sometimes in the same house. I once interviewed, I think so last year, a psychologist, and he said, you're in the same house and people, you don't know what's going on with your child. Last year, an incident happened where somebody called, oh, your daughter is here in an accident, she's dead. He said, no, my daughter is sleeping. And he goes, this happened in Dehradun, and he goes to the daughter's bedroom and she's not there. She has absconded with her friends and met with an accident and it's no more. So how much aware are we today when both parents are, building the career, going after money and their reputation and status? Where do they get the time to get into and be aware of their children's lives?
But you need money also, Vikram. I strongly believe that you can't be a saint and say I don't need money and my children will, because children need all sorts of things. So I am totally there for both parents should be working. And if they are working and if they are educated, why not? Why should they not work? But then you have to have your priorities right. You have to have, and time management is a skill you have to learn. We all have 24 hours and we all have to do our chores in those 24 hours. So if you manage your time well, if you have your priorities right, and if you are a role model, that instead of dictating or lecturing to your kids. So as a parenting coach, I get these problems daily, day in and day out. Parents come to me with children, they don't come to me to praise their children, they come with problems. So whatever I tell them, that whatever problem you want to be sorted out in your children, first of all, you have to be a role model and not have that in you. Don't show that thing, that the same problem. Like if he's on his social media gadget, you are on it too. So you tell him don't use it to study, but you're using it. That won't work. So instead of lecturing to them, be role models and be that what you want your child to be first. If you want him to speak softly, politely, be a soft and a polite speaker yourself.
Teaching
If
by example. Mhm.
exactly, don't yell and shriek at servants, which is usually happening in the houses. And then the children telling the children, no, don't if you are shouting at your servant and the child is hearing you, the child is going to shout back at you or shout back at his friends,
Mhm.
because he's picked that up. So role model what you want in your child. Back to
What I
me.
want to ask is you talked about being aware about your children on a day to day practice. I agree, parents need to go and earn money, and children are studying, that's their role. But how can parents and children on a day to day basis come together, and what are the practices they can develop in their family life so the parents are involved and are aware of their children's lives and their involvement?
Yes, yes, of course. We have there's a lot of material on that, and everybody speaks of that.
Right,
Sit down and have your meals together,
right.
and of course, put off your mobiles when you're having your meals together. Yeah, that's done. But what I want to say is
Hmm.
that as a parent, you have to be a good like you are saying. How will you be aware of what's going on in your child's life?
Hmm.
How will you be aware? You'll only be aware if he tells you, no? Or if somebody else comes and tells you. So rather than somebody else coming and tell you, you would always like your child to come and discuss his problems with you. So that is only if you are a good listener, which we are not,
Mm.
because we are most of the time we are dictating and controlling and telling our children, or speaking of our own woes. 99% of the parents I see have talk of their own problems. I am so stressed, I have such a lot of work to do, but then I have to come back and look after the house also and look after the children also. So if you are going to speak of your own problems, where have you the time to listen to what the child wants to tell you? So that 24 hours, that is why I said set your priorities right. So when you are home, switch off and be there with your child and let him talk. And when he's talking, and give him that liberty to say whatever he has to say to you, that this happened in school. So when he's talking, and if you are an intelligent person, you will come to know that there is a problem somewhere in which your child needs to be empowered. Then talk to your child and tell him what is right and wrong. Who will tell your children what is right and wrong? It's the parent. Now they are not
Hmm.
doing it. Not
Yeah.
having no time is no reason. Who will tell the children what is real and what is real?
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
a vast difference
Hmm.
between what is real, what they are seeing on
Hmm.
this, and what is real. Who will tell your child that what they are seeing on the screen is all nonsense? It's just there for money. It's an advertisement which they are doing for money. When they are having marriages and they're having girlfriends and boyfriends at 15 and 16, and they're having such songs there. That is the age when children should be building their careers. 15 and 16-year-olds are at the CBSE giving board exams and appearing for competitions. Who will tell your child that it's the real is different from real? The parent. So the parent will only be number one. When I said if he is empowered and if he is intelligent and if he has the knowledge of what to say, otherwise go and get that knowledge. And thirdly, listen to your child. And fourthly, of course, which should again be the first point, be calm yourself, which is very important.
I find that very challenging in today's world when both parents are working, they come home late, they're not
Hmm.
in the position to listen. Listen is People think listening is easy. Listening is so hard.
Yeah.
When you've had like a whole day's work, you're completely stressed out. You just want to say, just let me be, your thought with yourself. And in that moment, to actually sit down and listen, where you're not interested at all. I mean, you love your child, of course, but he's telling about random things. You know what happened today? This classmate did this, and our teacher did that, and all that, and you already zoned out. You switched out. How can we learn that? How can we encourage our children, and then to give them that space to invite them to pour out? Because if a child comes one day, he says, Papa is not interested, he's not even listening, what he'll do, he'll just walk off. That has happened. Happens to I'm a parent, I've got 3 boys. I try to listen when a lot of times I've worked from home, and so when they walked into my office, what I used to do is just put whatever I was doing, my pen or my keyboard down, and I would swivel my chair towards them and I would listen to them. I made it a practice so that in my behavior also, they know actually he's listening. And I don't think a lot of people are good listeners. I've seen that growing up in my life as well.
So, Vikram, you came to know of this because you heard it somewhere, you learned it, you read it somewhere. That is the emotional diet you took in, that listening to your kids is important. So, that is what I'm saying, that the parenting should be empowered. Empowered parents means they should know what is right for their child. So, when they know that you have to listen and you have to give them some time, they will keep it a priority. And when they keep it a priority, if they zoom off and if they are very tired, they maybe they'll rest for a half an hour or 1 hour, and then they will give the time to the child, provided they know that it is important. They are not giving it due importance. They are Parents are putting the blame onto the teachers, that the child is in school, let the teacher do that job. And the teacher, as you know, is so stressed herself. She has her own home to look, she has the school work to do. So the school puts it back to the parents, and the child is left in between shuffling. I believe it's total responsibility of the parent. The first home is the parent. So they should give that much. If they can't, half an hour, 1 hour's time to a child is a must, where you listen to the child. If maybe not every day, alternate days, maybe on weekends, but do give that open space where the child can tell, and then you'll know where the problems are in his life.
And if a child is not getting that opportunity to express itself, what happens over
then
time?
then then he has his problems, he has his behavioral problems, he has academic problems in school, he goes into stress, anxiety, depression, so many things. Then the parents become aware that he's having problems, and then they come bring him to us for counseling. And then we, who are not even related to the child, that in any way, the child pours out all that to us, and then we help them get back to track. If the parents had been there
Mhm.
for some time in the beginning, they wouldn't have landed the child in this situation. So it's a very sorry state of affairs. Everything is important. Working is important. Job is important. Money is important. Your child is important. But you are the most important thing. If you are only healthy and well, mentally and physically fit, only then can you address the problem. So first, the focus should be my physical health. We are all looking after. We all know, eat, sleep, drink, all that. We know now. By now, there's enough on social media. But mental illness, be calm, be peaceful, be rested. So look after yourself, and then you will have the energy to focus on your children. One very strong principle which I follow to have that energy to give to your children or to everything is, I follow the theory of, I believe that I cannot change others. I cannot change others. I cannot change situations. And 99% of the time, when we talk to people, they are only talking of others. So the wife comes to me with a problem of her husband, and the husband comes with the problem of the child. So it's always about the other person. You just focus on what I'm trying to tell you, and you'll find it. Sit down with friends also, you'll be talking of a third person, or you will be discussing your teacher. So I believe that when I'm talking of something else, I'm giving my energy to that thing or that person, I am drained of my energy, and it will be of no help, because that person won't change. That person will only change if he is aware and he realizes and he wants to change. So that's a different story. So I retrieve that energy. I don't give it to others. I focus on myself. I train people. I coach people. That is what my happiness coaching is, to be a happy version of what you are. So you retain all your energy and better yourself, which you can do 100%. But you can't change others. So stop wasting time on others.
We as human beings, we I think so draw a lot of enjoyment and fun from talking about other people, because it gives us some sort of security talking about, gossiping about others, right?
Because they are we don't want to take in the responsibility and accountability of anything. Na, the blame is there. Na, people are that, situation is that, country is that, government is that. So when that thing changes, things will get better for me, and those things won't change, or they'll change when they will. So by the time I am off any responsibility, and I feel very happy. So the solution is, take the responsibility. Government is that, country is that, people are that, my neighbor is that. Let them be the way they are.
Be the change you want to see in
You
others.
you focus on yourself, and then of course decide what you have to do,
Mm.
because that is the only thing you can do.
Mm. Okay, let's talk about, without taking any names, one of the most distressing cases that you have dealt with that has pushed someone's life to to the edge of or taking their own life?
Yeah, my all my days are filled with distressing days, most of them.
Can you share one
Yesterday
case?
I had
Yeah.
one incident
Yeah.
that's on top of my mind, so I'll share
Yeah.
that only.
Mm-hmm.
So this was a class 12 student, and the mother rang me up and she said that I have a helpline. I run a Pari Foundation tele-free helpline. We take cases of stress, anxiety, or something very serious. If people need help, we give them that. It's a tele-counseling. I don't say that it's not therapy, it's just
Mm-hmm.
there to be listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this call there and she said that my son is acting, he has his exams, CBSE exams are coming through, and he's acting very stressed and all, and he's breaking things and he's very violent, and I feel that he may harm himself. So I went there. So I took it as an emergency, and it was somewhere near my area where I live. So she said, "Ma'am, please, can you help me?" And so I went there to help her. So this boy was very aggressive. He was very angry. Why? That's a different story. He had his exams coming, so mother was saying he's stressed and all that, and then he was, trying to harm himself. So I prevented that, and how I prevented that is that tried I was the calm person there. So one calm peaceful person in a turmoil is the anchor. So everything then shifted to calmness. The mother calmed down, the son calmed down, the environment became better. Then I sat down and spoke to him, and then I answered his queries, or addressed his problems, which, if the mother had been aware of how to do it, the thing is that lack of awareness and
Mm.
knowledge is there. If she had been there with him all through, or if they had known how to be available or how to be calm and available, this situation wouldn't have arisen. So then I solved the issue down, and he settled down and he went back to work. So this case was a positive case when everything goes well. There are cases which end in misery, and which end in some destruction. So we have to be very careful. Life is very precious.
When you go into some of the helping somebody who is in distress, what is going on in your mind at that moment?
I feel good. I believe
Yeah.
that giving gives me my happiness comes from giving, and giving is a big source of happiness to everyone. So giving doesn't just mean giving materialistic thing or money. I give my time, I give my knowledge, I share my whatever I can through my knowledge and my education. So if it helps someone, I feel I've done my good karma. So I feel very happy when I help people.
You just mentioned that not all, this was a case where it was resolved, and he calmed down. But what about the cases that end in misery, like you said?
Yeah, I don't
The-
want to take those specific names
no,
that
you don't have to take names,
no
but
name of, even I don't want to say like
yeah.
what sort of misery.
Hmm.
Bad people lose lives. So why go to that extent? Why should anybody go to that extent? They say हिंदी में कहते हैं डूबते को तिनके का सहारा. If you have help at the right time, at the right moment, you can save a life. And the help which you can be is just be there to listen to someone. So
And
I would just want to tell people that just keep your eyes open. If you find people around you who are miserable, who you feel have changed, they are not what they were, or they are looking very sad or depressed, be there with them just to listen to them. So they'll come out, pour out whatever they want to say, and that is catharsis. That will settle them down. And then, of course, you second step is you can always advise them to go for therapy or counseling so that they can come back onto the right path again.
you deal with a lot of people in distress, who are not having hope, who have had loss and going through some mental issue or challenges. You know, uh, how do you feel when a case ends badly? How does it impact what effect it has on your psyche, on your mind and well-being?
Actually, I mean, I'm always of
Yeah.
the belief that doctors are not God. They tell us people tell us you are in place of God or you are God. No, we are not. We are human beings. We are human beings doing our duty. We have our own emotions, and we have to bear the emotions of others also. So, and everybody has his own karma to deal with. because I deal a lot of psychology with spirituality. I believe that is a big boost to psychology if you have spirituality with you. So everybody is going through his life, and when something of this sort of happens, which doesn't end on a positive note, or if a doctor loses a patient, there is, you have to accept. There are things which you have to accept in life. So acceptance should be there in every phase of life. That you're not God, and what will happen will happen. You're just doing your
But
duty.
how does that make you feel when something ends in misery or somebody's life ends that way?
We are doctors, so we live a life of detachment. If I get sucked into everybody's story, if I, which is very, very possible, because the stories which I have to deal with are so raw and they are so sad, it's fully possible that I get sucked into it, and then I go back a sad person myself, and then my family gets sad. So as a doctor, we have to be detached. So we are there, we have to be that resilient, that strong, to be in a safe zone so that we can help others.
How do you deal with when you have, you know, been, like you said, sucked into some case, or you have had some relation? Because when you go, you need to have a certain amount of empathy to relate to that person. But how do you deal with that where it has affected you? How do you come out of it as quickly as possible?
This is life, Vikram. There are so many instances which you will fall, and then you have to get up and walk again. So as empathy has to be there, but empathy doesn't mean that I have to be sucked into. So over the years, I have built my persona in a way that I do stay detached. But of course, I feel bad. Of course, I feel sad. But then I stop, check, and change. And that is what everybody should do. From every trauma that you face, from everything which come, because everything is not in your control. You can only do your best, but the consequence is never in your control. You have to accept the consequence. uh, like the students ask me, we are studying, I'm a CBSE counselor,
Mhm.
so I get so many phone calls that, ma'am, I've been studying hard, but I'm very scared. What
Mhm.
will my result be? The result is never in your hand of anything.
Mhm.
You can only do your best, and then leave it to God, that whatever happens will happen for the best. So that, with that sort of a you go with that sort of a belief system, that whatever consequences, not the result is not in my hand, and I will have to accept the result, but I'll go with full faith that whatever I do will be my best. So if I do feel bad at times, then I stop, check, and change. That is what we should all do. Stop, give yourself some time, come back to again your core, your heart, because your brain is in turmoil. Your brain may be sad, but your heart is your safe place. Deep breathe. Your breathing connects your brain to your heart. Deep breathe, meditate, come back to your heart, and then change. Come back to normal. Stop, check, change.
You just mentioned about spirituality, that you use spirituality also in your therapy. How do you, what is your understanding of spirituality and how do you use it in your therapy?
Spirituality, I don't use it as religion per se, because everybody has their own religion, everybody has their own beliefs. But spirituality is that there is some higher sense up there which is governing us, and that higher sense, I always tell my clients, my patients, I said, first thing that you do in the morning is like, you're a discharged person, because you've slept, over 24 hours of the day have gone by, you've slept. So like the phone gets discharged, you get discharged also here.
Mm-hmm.
You're a clean state when you get up in the morning. So the first thing I tell, and what I practice myself, is that I always connect to my higher the higher thing which I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
That is my belief, what I believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So I connect to that, and I talk to him for maybe just 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and I say that, please empower me, please be with me. That is meditation for me. Those 3 minutes early in the morning, connecting to the higher self I believe in. So I just say that, please be with me, stay with me, and keep me in a positive frame of mind. If I fall, give me the energy to get up again. So that charges me up, because I know there is somebody there who is with me. So that is very powerful.
Who do you pray to? You said a higher being, but when you're praying, actually praying, who are you thinking of?
My God, whom I believe in,
Who is it?
I believe in Krishna. I believe in Gita. I believe in Krishna. Excuse me, that is my God. You may believe in someone else, someone may believe in someone just believes in a higher power who is there. But there is something there, that is spirituality, which is running our lives. And that has to be connected to our psychology, because without that, we are very powerless. We are just roaming around. With somebody there looking after us, our actual father, that gives us a lot of power that everything I do is going to be fine.
Is prayer only about asking?
My prayer is about connecting, feeling empowered, asking and giving. Asking for power, asking for his support, and giving my best in whatever way I can to help the people around me.
Mhm. I did one interview just a few days ago, and that person said, asked me a certain question. It was regarding not exactly about prayer, but my answer was, when I get up in the morning, the first thing, like you said, the first part of the morning, you should connect with the divine, with a higher power. And I practice gratitude. And the three things that I am grateful about, and I thank the Lord God Almighty, is that I saw another day, that I'm alive. Number two, that I have good health, sound mind and a healthy body. And number three, that I have my loved ones. And gratitude, what I've seen in my own life is that gratitude is powerful for your mental and spiritual well being, because it takes you away from the position of lack and it helps you focus on what you have, and that's a total mind shift. When you do that first part of the morning, your day goes differently, and so I have made that a habit.
That's wonderful. And that is my second part.
Mm-hmm.
That is the second part. My first part is connecting
Right.
to my power, thanking Him. I'm there. I thank my Lord that I'm there again. I've seen
Exactly.
in another day. And the second part I tell my clients and I practice myself again is while I'm about doing my daily chores in the morning of getting up, brushing my teeth, having my tea, is gratitude. And I always tell my clients to practice at least 5 things they are grateful for every day. Make it a journal.
Mhm.
As you said, it's a mind shift change.
Yeah.
From lack, we are going to abundance.
Abundance mindset. Yeah.
From what we don't have or what we are going to ask for the whole day long, we are going to what we have.
What we have.
So that's definitely a mindset change. And of course, a lot of research has been done. Gratitude and giving are two things which have proven to be real, real things to be, which are change makers, which are changing the mindset of people. Gratitude and giving. Giving is also very powerful, and gratitude, of course, it's a proven fact.
In what ways can we give?
And as I told you, I answered that question, Vikram.
Okay.
I said it's not always materialistic.
Okay.
You can do that if you have that. If you want to give things, you can do that. You can give to the needy. You can give to the hungry. It makes you feel good because you have abundance of that. So you can do that, and you can share your knowledge also. It can be in the deeds you do by helping someone, by sharing your knowledge, or by giving something to someone. So when you are giver, you are more powerful. You feel more powerful because you are helping. But when you are asking and when you are a receiver, I feel at a lower level. So I believe giving makes me feel very, very happy. So I have the knowledge to share because people are full of problems because they don't know what is right and what is wrong, because all of them are not psychologists. So I share my knowledge with them, and they come to me with problems and they find solutions, and that makes my day.
We talked about parenting. We talked about the stress of students that they have. What other groups in the society are dealing with a lot of pressure and stress?
Stress is a pandemic. And stress is inevitable. Everybody has stress. Now, also, Vikram, there is two types of stress. You know it. There is eustress and there is distress. So the initial bit of stress which is there, the anxiety, that thing which we have, that surge of motivation that we want to do something, that is good stress. So it's like a plateau. It goes up, stress is building up because we have some goal to complete. Building up, it's okay, fine. Keeps us motivated.
Right.
But then gradually it reaches a plateau, and then it becomes distress. Now from there on, everything starts sliding down.
Right.
You become sick, you become that psychosomatic problems because you are in distress. So stress is inevitable, it's there in everyone. It is how we manage it, how we let it build up, and how we let it affect our lives, which is more important.
You also work with police. You have worked with police and army
Yes, yes.
people.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of stress are they under?
Yeah, you asked me who all are facing stress. I
Yeah.
said everybody's facing stress. Very few know how not to go into distress. And that is what we teach.
Mhm.
Like I teach prevention because I feel prevention is better than cure. So
Mhm.
why be stressed? Why not manage it? And, you know,
Mhm.
why not
Right.
manage it
Mhm.
and why not come out of it? Yes, police and army, they had called me for some workshops. Army people, of course, keep it very secretive because it's there's something in their units. But I had some sessions with the families of the army men, with the soldiers. So they have their own levels of stress because they have their field postings. The families are left alone. There's a lot which goes on in the minds of those families who are left to cope with the children and the family and the all the daily chores when the husband is away, and the husband has to look after the nation, the country. He's there at the border, but he has a double duty looking after our country in those terrains which are so cold or maybe so inhuman to live there. They are there looking after serving the country, and they also have a family back there. So when they come back home for the holidays, they have to face the pressures of leaving their family behind. So we have to be very, very grateful to these people who are looking after us, the army people.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
families
Mhm.
there,
Mhm.
they have these communities of these the army communities, so they're very supportive of each other, very, very
Mhm.
supportive. And the families are very resilient, and they have a lot of this coping strategies with which they cope the day-to-day life. So therefore, if you are from an army background, I am from an army background, and I have got that resilience built in me because we had to go to various stations, meet various peoples, go to various schools, and meet different types of thought processes. So it builds a lot of resilience in the families there. So yes, I had the opportunity of counseling them, and I'm so grateful that I was able to offer my services there. Police also have a lot of stress to face. In fact, everybody does. Police have they are in a scene where there is a lot of violence and corruption around them. So staying in that
Mhm.
scenario and then staying happy and then going back happy to a family is very, very difficult. So they need help, they need counseling sessions, which we do provide them on and off. Doctors, as Vikram, you'll be surprised to know, are most stressed people.
Mhm.
Doctors, physicians, and surgeons also very, very stressed because, as I said, we doctors have everybody has their own emotional baggage. We're trying to get to terms with it, trying to make ourselves happy. It's an ongoing process. It's nothing very stationary that once done, it'll stay. There'll be ups and downs. But
Mhm.
then we have the emotional baggage of the patient that we are dealing with. We are operating, we are treating. And thirdly, the emotional baggage of the family. They come with their own stresses. So we have to, and doctors have to be very patient, very empathetic, very resilient to deal with all this. But sadly, what I would like to say is in reference to doctors, that when we are uh, being taught in the medical colleges, nobody teaches us how to communicate, how to be resilient, how to be empathetic. We are taught those many subjects which we
Yeah.
give exams in and which we qualify, but we are not taught these life and human skills in the medical colleges. I believe they are coming up with them now.
Yeah, these human skills are lacking in
Yes.
almost every profession, even the police
Yeah.
or the army people.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, for example, nobody prepares you for PTSD.
Correct.
Have you dealt with any
Of
army
course.
personnel dealing with
Of
that?
course, so many of them, PTSD, that too, and other also. There are so many episodes which happen, army people also, and so many episodes which happen. There's an accident somewhere, or there is a burn. Been a big fire somewhere. People have died. Some have survived. Children who've seen accidents, who've seen their lose their near and dear ones, all that. And even PTSD from is there if you see someone not related to you, if you see it somewhere and something happening, you have those scenes there. and it's very, very tragic. So that dealing with that, nobody has taught us, as you said, nobody
Yeah.
has taught us and nobody is still teaching children how to think right. Like we know what is right and wrong in the daily scenes which we are thinking, but nobody told us how to think, how much to think, how to think. And I believe schools are coming up with mental health classes now, which is so very important. Emotional regulation is so important. Nobody has ever taught us how to regulate our emotions. We react immediately. So these are things which should be taught in schools right from the childhood, right from the daily basis. It's very good. We are making a lot of progress. Sexual abuse and POXO Act and good touch, bad touch, all this, and menstruations, and all these are things which are being spoken to. Drug abuse, it's being spoken to openly.
Mm-hmm.
The good, the bad points of it. But thinking how to be happy, especially thinking right to be happy, nobody has taught us.
Nobody's teaching that.
Yeah, so
The
I've
right way
taken that
to
up now.
think. You've
Pardon?
taken. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I've taken that up now.
Right. We'll talk about your happiness change makers just in a moment. But before that, um, I want to talk a little more about this PTSD. Have you had a case where you saw that somebody did not come back to his normal self after a traumatic experience?
No, touch wood, the cases which I have been dealing with had recovered preferably quite well.
And what were
And
the treatments? CBT or what else?
eclectic,
Mm-hmm.
mixture of everything as suited the person. CBT was the main thing, of course. Like there was a gruesome fire in Meerut. At that time, I was in Meerut.
Mm-hmm.
There was a gruesome fire where there was some affair going on in a closed space, and thousands of in a big parade ground, and a big fire lit out,
Mm-hmm.
and everything just burnt away, and people just died. Some crawled out of it, and then those people suffered from PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
They'd seen their near and dear, so it was very, very traumatic. It they couldn't People with PTSD can't live normal lives because they are living in the world which they have seen. It's coming back in flashes to them. When they are sleeping, they are dreaming of that. When they wake up, it comes back in flashes, and then they lose power, they lose grip of reality, and they go into stress, anxiety, depression, and it's very, very traumatic. It can't be explained in words. When you see those people, you really feel the trauma that they're going through. To help such people come out of it, to help them forget, it's very difficult. Forgiving is a big issue. People, PTSD, people of rape, people of sexual abuse also go through that. So to bring them, and I have counseled so many of them. So bringing them out of that trauma and empowering them to forgive will help them to forget. But it's very difficult. But then it's nothing is impossible. With constant support, with constant to build up their self-esteem, to get out of the blame game.
What is the probability of healing in this process?
Quite a big because, as I said, healing psychology has taken up. It's really built up all these now. It
Mhm.
wasn't there that strong some years back. So over the last few decades, it's really built up, and healing really helps. Talking to someone, coming to know that it's not your blame, and maybe even crying, maybe even letting out your emotions and not feeling the stigma of it, talking of your pain, it really helps.
Mhm.
It really helps.
Mhm.
Catharsis is a big thing, and we can all be healers by just being good listeners. You don't need any training in that. You don't need to be a psychologist to help someone.
Mhm.
If you're just there for someone
Mhm.
without judgment, of course. Judgment, if you don't blame them for anything,
Mhm.
that really helps. That's very empowering, and people get out of it.
Mhm.
They lead normal lives.
Mhm. How long does it take?
My The cases I deal with take a couple of months, maybe more. Some months, some
It.
sessions every month,
Mhm.
but some months, sessions every month, but some months. And not then it's not just therapy, they need medicines also.
Okay, what kind
Because
of medicines?
for anxiety,
Anti-anxiety.
yeah, for anxiety,
Mhm.
or if they have any panic attacks, there are different medicines for
Medications.
different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, that helps them overcome the symptoms, and therapy empowers them how to overcome them.
Mm. And so there is hope that within a couple of months they can go back to their
Yes,
normal
yes, they
lives.
do.
Yeah.
But the therapy should be from a proper trained person. Like now I feel that it's all over social media. Every second person is a healer. Every second person is going into mental health.
Right.
It may do more harm than good. So you have to be a very trained professional who knows how to do it, who is there with them.
What harm can you do? What harm can the people do who do not know?
They can pass judgments. They can say something which is, and the person who has come to them for help is still in trauma, is in stress. Maybe you say something which is so inflammatory that it harms the person rather than benefits them. And
So-
you feel that it's not inflammatory. You feel that's the right, passing a judgment is right. So you have to be very careful.
So there are certain triggers these people have to avoid. Can they be like stimulus or triggers that can, pull them into that
No,
anxiety or
but
panic?
that is PTSD. Those triggers, those stimulus
Yeah.
brings them back into, and they feel they relive the whole thing again. So of course we tell them avoid that and avoid saying it, but gradually over the years we empower them that they get over those triggers also. That is healing. That is actually healing. Like this burn scene which I'm telling you. So if this person goes and sees a movie where there is a burn, some fire going on, he may get triggered. But then that means the healing is incomplete. He's not, the fever is still there.
Right.
It's 99, maybe it's not 102. So then again he has to go into the process, and then we have to desensitize him to that.
So what you're saying, once the healing is complete, that trigger will lose its power.
Absolutely, it should. Then the healing is complete.
Then the healing is complete.
Correct. And it is possible.
Tell me a little, without going into much technical details, for a layman, what does CBT look like, cognitive behavioral therapy? Can you tell me some elements or steps of it?
Of course, why not? CBT, cognitive behavior, that is my tool. Some people practice it, some people practice other tools. My tool, I feel it very useful because I feel that a person only feels bad, feels negative, or feels bad or feels sad, then he wakes up that something is wrong, right? As long as you're fine and you're happy, everything is okay. The moment the feeling of something comes back, and there's no thermometer to measure your feeling. There's no thermometer. Only you know it, that you're dysregulated, something is wrong. So if you are aware of it and you come for help, so we'll train you, we'll teach you that you're feeling bad. He says, "Nay, I'm feeling bad, so I'm going to see a movie." Now, when you go to see a movie, for that amount of time, he feels good because he's distracted. But the moment he comes back to his normal routine, the feeling comes back again. So that is not actual therapy. So change of place, that is a behavior therapy. Initially, it used to be just a behavior therapy. You go out and come back, but then the thing used to come back. So therefore, psychologists changed it to cognitive behavior therapy. They said, no, change of place or the behavior does not solve the purpose. Change of the thoughts will solve the purpose. So they brought thoughts into it. And then, of course, thoughts are the actual human resource. And I really believe that. I am what I think. I am what I think. My belief system and my thinking comes from my belief systems, and my belief systems come from my emotional diet. So that's a whole different story, right? So what I think is actually how I behave. So if I change the behavior, the thinking still remains the same. If I try to change the behavior, my feeling changes, but the thinking remains the same. So I have to go and change the thinking. So the way we change the thinking, the way we empower the people to change the way they think, is cognitive behavior therapy.
What are some of the things that they practice to change the thinking?
That's the actual therapy. That takes weeks and sessions and times. There are cognitive distortions. The way our belief systems are, that we think of things, like for instance, like you go to school. If you go to school and you wish your teacher and the teacher doesn't reply, or you go to office, and you wish your boss very happily because you've been taught that you should be happy, so you wish him happily, but the boss doesn't reply. So you'll feel, oh my God, today is to gone. I'm going to lose my. He doesn't like me. I've done some mistake. So this one negative thought leads to 10 negative thoughts. It's a cognitive distortion. And then you'll say, I'm going to lose my job. So your whole day is going to go in ruminating. That is rumination. That is overthinking. And the basic thing is that the first cognitive distortion was there. Maybe he didn't wish you back because he was thinking something else. He was busy himself. He didn't see you, whatever. So that is cognitive. The root cause is the way we think. We have to change that.
And you talked about you use CBT, but there are other people, they use other tools. What are other tools in
Other
this awesome?
therapies are there. Like I told you, they take up behavior therapy, family therapy, transactional therapies. There's so many other therapies which they take up.
Okay.
So there is emotional regulatory therapy, RBT, there. We take up emotions which regulate our behaviors. So to each his own. For me, I feel my cognitive therapy
What do you think
works
of
very well.
NLP?
NLP, in our medical science, we have not come up with the term NLP.
Okay.
It's not something very much recognized in the medical field.
Okay.
Right. So I don't know much about it, but I've heard a lot about it. And people are, and it also comes back to the same thing which I'm trying to say of therapy is the way our medical science treats. It takes up thinking, and it takes up anchoring, and it takes up all, and these are things we use in our therapies also. So it's a mixture of all that. So maybe it's practiced, but as such, in our medical field, when we were taught medicine in psychiatry, we were not, NLP is not a science there. But it's very interesting, and it works, and people are doing it, and they're trying to help people.
What pulled you from medicine into counseling?
Lots of things. Medicine is fine. As a doctor, I've been seeing a lot of patients. My husband was also seeing a lot of, is seeing a lot of patients. He's a neurosurgeon. But when I see patients come for treatment and they go out, they take medicines, they spend their money on medicines, but I don't see the smile on I did not see the smile on most of their faces. So when I speak to them, to the patients who are taking treatment, they come to me with their problems of financial stress, or maybe marital stress, or maybe abuse at the home. So the medicine was not solving those problems. Then I tried to understand what is that which is actually making people unhappy. Then my children were growing up, and then I saw so many problems in the teenage friends and their parents, parenting issues, academic issues. I had seen so many suicides while I was studying in the medical college. Then later on also, I'm hearing of so many suicides. So, and then my own mental, I was I was the youngest child in my family. So my parents really doted on me. So because my other siblings had all moved away and they were working and all, or they were married. So I was brought up as the only child at a very late age of my parents. So and I stayed there with them till I was just 23, 24. Then both of them passed away because I was a late child into the family. And then that trauma, I took me a very long time to overcome that trauma of losing my parents at such a young age. And it affected the way I spoke and I behaved. And I believe it affected my life thereafter. So I could never be very happy. I used to feel guilty feeling happy because I had lost my parents. That guilt was there. I could never understand why. Then I took up psychology. I said the only remedy is I have to change the way I think and I behave. So when I studied psychology, I got out of all these issues. I understood why people were unhappy. So I just realized that the core purpose of life is happiness, and that is what has to be brought back into people's life.
So this interest took birth from your own malady of feeling that guilt, when you were so young, of losing your parents. So you
Yes.
you wanted to understand your own mind
Yes.
and find a solution to it. So
Yes.
that's how you went into
And
psychology.
also, I'd seen a lot of my friends lose their life to suicides when I was studying in the
No.
medical college. So that also shook me. that it's so difficult to get into. At that time it was there were very few medical colleges
Mhm.
then, so to get into the college was one big thing.
Mhm.
And then why commit suicide just because they had failed or of some other reason? So all that really shook me, so then I studied psychology, and then I realized that that was the
Mhm.
main thing where my interest lay, because I love speaking to people.
Mhm.
Medicine is just prescribing a medicine in 5-10 minutes and
Right.
you're done with.
Yeah.
Psychology is talking to people. So that's my strong point. And then if I could help them by talking, all the
Mm.
better. So I studied psychology with medicine then later on, and I took up this as a full-time job.
Amazing. And the first person to heal, you had to heal yourself, your mind, rewire your brain
Yes,
into.
Vikram, every day I'm doing it. Nobody is going to be perfectly 100 out of 100 happy every day. There are going to be dips and stop, check, change stages are going to come. You are going to face challenges, blocks in your thinking also.
Mhm.
You are going to go into guilt again for something you've done. But then you have the knowledge now.
Mm.
You're empowered now. So you change yourself. So
Mm.
it's helped me. It's really helped me become a better person, be more happier, feel more independent.
So it's something, in the Bible it's written, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Basically, when we change our thought patterns, when we renew our mind, our lives can be transformed or changed for the better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can change all your thought patterns. Everything can be changed in your mind. It's just up to you. You should have the will to do it. You should have a goal why you want to do it, and you can do it, and the skill to do it.
Mhm.
S- Yeah.
I love that you are a happiness coach now,
Hmm.
you know, and you said you love talking to people. Like medicine, okay, you prescribe, you have 15, 20 minutes with them, but with helping people, you can talk to them, you can get to know them, you have this relational human connection, and you're doing that today. Tell us a little about your happiness coaching project, and especially the happiness change makers.
Vikram, initially when I took up psychology, I didn't know where to go and how to reach out to people, on what platform to do that. So I built an NGO. It's called Pari Foundation. That NGO was a platform for me where I used to go, and I still go, and I talk to people, students, colleges, anywhere, wherever I get people, because everybody needs help. So I go and talk to them about issues which they need help on. So this was that platform. I spoke on how to manage your stress, how to manage your anxiety, depression, drug abuse. I got the Dr. B.C. Roy Award, National Award for that, because I counseled so many people all over Dehradun, in the colleges, the youth, and I empowered them not to take drugs, to say no to drugs. Right. So I was dealing with all that. Now, over the years, what I found was every day I'm getting patients, people who are coming to me with a variety of issues, whole lot: panic attacks, OCDs, phobias, stress, anxiety, depression, marital issues, student problems, behavior problems, academic issues, suicides, whatever. So many issues we have. Everybody has challenges in their life. These issues are leading them into emotional or dysregulation or mental illness, that's leading them into. So I'm counseling them how to get out of it and get better. So then I gradually thought that what are all these people lacking? It entered my mind that all these people coming to me, and even me myself, what am I lacking? What do I want that I'm after? What is the purpose of life? So I just felt that it's happiness. So it was just this thing for me. It was an illumination for me that if I'm happy, I'm not going to be stressed. If I'm happy, why will I have a panic attack? If I'm happy, why will I go into depression? There are antidotes. So antidotes to all, I feel it's an umbrella term. If you're happy, you're going to be mentally fit. You're going to be strong enough to solve all your problems. And how to be happy is a big challenge.
It's a big
It's a
challenge.
big challenge how to be happy, because maybe it's momentary. Maybe you're having an ice cream, or maybe you're doing something, you're happy, but you're not happy 24 hours long. And then you may again end up with some discomfort. So
So to
then,
that, I just want to interject, and maybe you can explain, what does happiness mean to you?
happiness means to me to be peaceful and calm at every place all the time. maybe at work with my family, while I'm sleeping, while at home with my children, to be peaceful and to be calm.
Mhm. So you said peaceful and calm. And how do you get to that place?
By being happy. By being happy, which means this is what I'm going to train people in. I'm making a course now. It's nearly designed, so I'll be taking up various aspects which they have to work on themselves. So it's not something that it's what each one has to work on themselves. So they'll work on their self esteem, on their anger issues, on their resilience, on their self worth. They'll have tools and they'll have how to work on them. So I'll give that to them. So I'm just designing this course. Maybe it will be for a month long. I don't want to take it more than a month. We'll have some classes in that. So I'll empower these people how to be happy with these tools in place. And when you use these tools in the proper place at the right time, you'll be in that level of stability.
Mhm.
So if you can become a happiness coach, I want you to create that ripple effect, and I'll certify you and empower you to create more happiness coaches.
Mhm.
So you can be a happiness change maker,
Mhm.
because happiness has a ripple effect. So does stress.
Mhm.
But I want to create the ripple effect of happiness. From one, it should go to the other. So a happiness coach with certification will be able to coach other people to
Mhm.
become happiness coaches.
Mhm.
So gradually, a drop, I think we can make the world a better, happier, calmer, peaceful place to live in.
Mhm. And that happiness, I think, so begins in your mind.
Yes, that
Once you
is,
get that mental stability, emotional
yes,
stability,
yes.
and peace, I think so you can reach that space, right?
Yes. So many areas there. That's what I'm trying to, match up all the dots and, line up all the dots together and build up
Uh,
that course so that it touches all aspects of your personality, where you keep your power of your happiness to yourself and not dissipate it to others, not let your power go out and become weak. So you stay empowered, you stay happy, you stay calm, come what may. And I'll give you the tools to do that. And as a happiness coach, when you're happy, it's the antidote to everything. Yeah, you don't need
Happiness also
medicines.
depends on other components. For example, I think so it was Aristotle who said the pillars of good life are health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Yeah.
But if one is affected, that affects happiness as well. If your
Yes.
health is suffering, then your happiness. If you don't have wealth, then you think about that, how to earn your money, then happiness is affected. If you don't have love and social construct, people around you, then also you're lonely. You're not happy completely. So
Yes.
I think so it affects one pillar affects the other thing and your
Yes.
overall happiness.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, it does. But if you're happy, happiness is a journey. So if you're happy, you'll be able to overcome all the problems you're having with your health and your wealth.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Uh,
I have seen cancer patients,
mhm.
Vikram, who are very strong, who are very resilient, who fight their illness, and they come out of it winners,
Wow.
because they have that resilience. That is happiness. They have that strength, they have that
Mhm.
power within them.
Mhm.
So I believe that yes, we have pillars to happiness, everything is affecting it. But if we are happy, we can overcome those problems.
Mm.
So the happiness is a journey rather than a goal.
Mhm.
If I'm happy and I'm doing my exams and I'm
Mhm.
doing my work and I'm living my life,
Mhm.
it's going to make the other person feel better. It's a ripple effect.
Wonderful. Uh, Tell us a little more about this happiness change makers. Um, when is it going to? When are you going to
Launch it.
launch it? Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 months more.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to join up all the dots.
Mhm.
And change makers, I want to make it an academy. I want to create lots of happiness coaches. I want to share my knowledge with them so that they get empowered. And it's going to be very simple knowledge, simple day to day knowledge. It's nothing
Mhm.
very medical or very, technical,
Mhm.
something which they will, simple day to day tips and tools, how to they get empowered
Mhm.
so that they stay cool and calm, come whatever may, if they are peaceful
Mhm.
and if they are peaceful and calm, they can then teach those skills to others if they
Mhm.
want to, with the certificate I give them.
Mhm.
And it's like a life coach. A
Mhm.
life coach can train anyone on life skills, so they'll be training people on happiness, and then they're going to be happiness change makers.
So this is going to cause a ripple effect.
Definitely it
So
will.
that person will teach the other person
Yes,
and will teach the next.
yes, 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 because they'll have those tools with them.
Is there any happiness? I've never heard this term before.
I
Are
have
there?
a lot of people are happiness coaches. They are
Okay.
training people, but I'm going to certify them and I'm going to tell them that you teach it to others, because I believe that knowledge, when used, is the best way to dispel your knowledge, is to use it, to pass it on to others.
Mm-hmm.
If I pass my knowledge to others, I don't lose in any way. I become stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is what I'm going to teach people, that you take knowledge, become stronger, pass that knowledge on to others, and then become stronger yourself. So, that is the way of uplifting yourself. If I'm a happiness coach, I become happy
Yeah.
myself first. I take in all those skills myself first.
Mm-hmm.
So, I become a happier person and pass it on to others. That person becomes a happier person, passes on to other and becomes a happier person.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a ripple effect.
In
And
all.
happiness
Mhm.
is the antidote to all maladies, come what may. That is what I gave it a lot of thought. After Pari Foundation, I addressed all emotional and mental health issues and all problems I have addressed. But then the antidote to all this is the person should be happy. If a person is happy, he'll be able to overcome whatever problems he has.
I think so. Religion has been sort of the, the place where people went for their mental health. A lot of times when I think about, we go to temples or churches or mosques, people were going there for some sort of mental relief as well. Because you said happiness is peace and calm. What do we go to religion for, to
Mhm.
God for? We go for peace, that we'll have peace and we'll have that calmness. And so far, these places have worked as mental therapy places as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, they have. They still are.
And they still are.
Yeah, it's very rightly that they are, because that is a place where there are so many like-minded people with spirituality, with God, thoughts of spirituality coming there for healing. So this vibration is there. This vibration of peace and calm is there, because everybody has come and everybody becomes peace and calm when they go there. When you're in a church, when you're in a temple, when you're there, you become calm. You bow down, you become
But
peace.
isn't it having an adverse effect when people, so many people come with their problems to this place? Can't it have a negative vibration?
At such places, at holy places, you see, whenever you go there, do you ever feel negative? No. Don't you feel empowered when you go there? No matter, when everybody is putting their problems, and that problems are there, but they're passing it on to God. They're
Mm.
passing it on to someone divine, that please help me. And internally, they become peaceful and calm themselves. So that vibration of happiness and peace and calm spreads to all. So it's a place of feeling empowered.
In all your years of counseling and meeting people, what is one thing, what is the most, um, what is the most obvious reason for people suffering, or common, let's say, most common?
What I feel that from all these years of counseling, what is the main point of suffering, why
Mm-hmm.
people are suffering so much, is that they are not taking responsibility and accountability of their own suffering. They are putting the blame onto people, onto situations, onto others. They are not ready to change themselves. They are not taking that. They feel they are holier than everything.
So it's recognizing that I am sick. Like, unless person feels that I am suffering from something and he doesn't go to the doctor, how will he get healed, right?
Correct. Correct.
So the healing starts by acknowledging that you are suffering from
It's all about me. It's
Yeah.
all about me. The healing has to start here. And the change has to
Yeah.
start here.
Mhm.
And the change for me, it starts with the way you're thinking.
Mm. Mm. Let's talk a little about your personal life. Who are you beyond your professional life and all at home?
I'm a person, I love to meet people. I love to be happy. I love to have happy, smiling people around me. I don't like blame. I don't like control. I don't like people who are trying to be manipulative. Nobody likes that, of course.
Yeah.
But other than that, I love to sing.
Mhm.
I love to sing.
Okay.
I think singing is a therapy for me.
Mhm.
And other than that, I'm very spiritual.
Mhm.
I have full faith, and that I believe in something being destined will happen,
Mhm.
but that doesn't stop me from doing my karma.
Mhm.
I'm a strong believer in that.
Mhm.
Um, and other than that, I hope I'm a good mother, and I hope I'm a good wife.
Why do you hope? You don't believe that?
Because they'll be telling whether I am that or not. I try to be the best version of myself. Yeah.
Do you still doubt yourself?
No,
Sometimes.
no, that was just on a lighter note.
Okay.
I never doubt myself. We should
Yeah.
never ever doubt ourselves. We should always do our best,
Right.
even if that best is not, if it's just 25%. But that 25% was your best at that time.
Exactly.
So you did your best. So why doubt or why self blame?
Right.
So never,
Yeah.
I never regret the past.
Mhm.
There are times when I do, but again, stop, check, change.
Mhm. Do you believe in afterlife?
Yes, I believe in
What do
afterlife.
what do you believe happens to us or our soul after we,
I believe in
die?
rebirth.
You believe in rebirth?
Yeah, and I try to believe good things. So I try to, that is just to make me feel happy and safe. So
Mm.
that is my belief system.
Okay.
So I believe if I do good, good will come to me
Mhm.
in this life or next life.
Have you explored other faiths as well?
Other faiths
Like any other faith from the one that you grew up with?
I grew up with my faith. I grew up with Christianity because I studied in convents,
Mm.
and I believe in all faiths. I believe there is one God.
What do you know about Christianity?
I believed, I was in convents,
Mm.
so I was very close to the sisters, to the mothers who were there with me. I went to church,
Oh,
and
you've been to church.
yeah, we used to go to the chapels and churches and schools. In fact, I live next to a church in Dehradun, and I believe in all religions. And at the end of the day, I believe that how can there be two gods? It's not possible.
There is only
That
one
is
God.
how I reason it out. There is one God. We give it different names. So I love people, and I love people who believe in God in whatever name they believe in.
So
And
you've
I'm
heard of
open to
Jesus?
all. Of course, I've heard of Jesus.
What do you know about Jesus?
Jesus was a savior. Jesus was a savior, and he's there in the hearts of many people. I've read the Bible also, but I've not gone into the depths of it. I haven't gone into the depths of many of our scriptures also.
Mhm.
But I do believe, I do read, I do sing hymns, I do sing in the religious songs also. I just I see all people as one. I see all religions as one.
Jesus is very controversial. Actually, he was a very controversial man.
Okay,
Yeah, he was killed by his own people,
okay,
by the Jewish people,
yeah,
because according to them, he blasphemed.
yeah,
Blasphemous say things that are not acceptable by God or against God.
yeah.
And what he said, he equaled himself to God. He said, "I and the Father are one." He
Hmm.
said things like, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one
Hmm.
comes to the Father but through me, which is very exclusive.
Okay.
So by doing that, what he was saying is, there is no other way but
Hmm.
through me.
Hmm.
Or for example, he said, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him will not perish but have eternal life." So we believe in eternal life. In Hinduism, eternal life is rebirth until you break that cycle and attain moksha. In Buddhism, nirvana. And so that is pretty exclusive to say. So I don't believe that some people who say that he was a good teacher but ignore the things that he claimed about himself, that is very controversial. I don't know if it's right to pick and choose what we believe about Jesus.
Okay. I have not given it that much of a
Yeah.
thought, Vikram.
Do
I have
you
not.
would you like to read the Bible?
Oh, if I find time, I would, but
Yeah.
I have not even read my scriptures
Yeah.
completely yet.
Okay.
Yep, I believe in karma.
Okay.
I believe in day-to-day karma. I believe if you are doing good, good will come back to you. And there is somebody up there. We have
Yeah.
given him a name.
Yeah.
I don't go into the nitty-gritties of religion.
But it's fascinating as a human being, I just finished reading the Bible in 2 years, just recently, because I had, made this resolution in 24 that I'll read it in 1 year. It took me 2 years. So 24 January I started, and 29th or 30th of December 2025 I finished reading. Amazing book. I can totally recommend. There's so much wisdom. There's so much thing about life. So many things that you and I are telling
Yeah,
and teaching is all there.
right.
I mean, Jesus, how he did. For example, even about management, there have been books that people have written about management from Jesus.
Yes, yes, I'm
Today,
sure.
today I read a thing about Jesus when his disciples came and was saying that he came to John the Baptist, who actually baptized Jesus, and said, "Look, Jesus is baptizing in this way, and he's doing this and that." And there's one line written that even though Jesus did not baptize, but his disciples were baptizing. Baptism was a way of repenting and symbolic act of repentance, leaving your old life behind and accepting this new life, that you will put your bad ways behind you and accept Jesus and start a new life. So they were saying one thing that I picked up, which was very interesting, is that it's written even though Jesus was not baptizing, but his disciples. So first thing came to my mind, look, Jesus was a good delegator. That's the sign of management, the managers is to delegate, not do all the lifting yourself.
No, no,
Now
we
you've
should.
got a group, 12 disciples. Okay, you go here,
Correct.
you do this, you
Yeah,
baptize,
yeah.
There's so much you can learn
Yeah.
every single day.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right. It's
I can totally
amazing.
recommend it. I just finished
Yes,
reading it.
yes. I will. I have to read the Gita also.
Yeah.
That also is a mastermind in psychology. I read parts of it. I've read parts of it, but I have to read it completely. I'll read both of them.
The thing is, like you said something earlier in our talk, that you like to pray. For me, prayer without reading the scriptures is a one-way communication. Because many people ask, how does God talk to you? God will not whisper in our ears. Most of the time, he talks through scriptures. And that's the best way, when you can open the scriptures and read it and see what God has already
Right.
put down. And it's inspired
Right.
word, so you can read it, and that's how you receive,
Right.
and it's a dialogue. It's not a monologue. Okay, Father, God, give me this, give me that, do this, help me, then you can read, okay, this is what God is saying. Like you talked about listening. It's an act of listening.
Two-way communication.
Two-way communication. Right now, all your children are settled with their own families, and it's you and your husband. How is your communication and relationship between the two of you? You are two working professionals. How do you see your relationship?
We've both been two working professionals right from the beginning. In fact, in the beginning of when my children were smaller, one has to back off a little, because there are two different chores. The home children is one big duty when the children are growing up. I strongly believe that the children do need somebody at home whom
Okay.
they can who's there for them when they are growing up. Once, and it's a small time till they
Mhm.
are in the 12th, then they go to colleges
Mhm.
and they are grown up. So I took the back seat. I took
Mhm.
the teaching job, and my
Mhm.
husband was 24 hours emergency as a neurosurgeon.
Oh,
He
okay.
was very busy and he was operating, and he
Mhm.
was the first neurosurgeon in Western UP. Then he came to Dehradun. He was the first neurosurgeon here also. And then later on, recently, some 5 years back, we were again deputed here because Dehradun is the place, is our native place. Um, he started the Doon Medical College as the founder principal,
Mm.
and I was the professor of biochemistry there. And then now that he has retired, now he's into private practice, and he's looking after patients of head injury.
The number of years that you have on this earth, what is your purpose for the rest of your life?
To be happy, to be happy, to be calm, to be peaceful, and to spread this message, because this is something which is very much needed. This is something which all of us are lacking. In one way or the other, everybody I feel is unhappy. You never see, maybe it was there before also, but then this knowledge was not there how to be happy. Now we have the knowledge, we have the tools, we have the strategies, we have the knowledge, so we can be happy. So if we are happy, everything is going to be fine. With the teachers, with the doctors, with the parents, with the politicians, with the world in general, what they need is happiness. Happiness is peace, calm, satisfaction. That doesn't mean that you don't strive for more. You do try to try to do whatever you want to do, but be happy and do it instead of being in stress and doing it.
Well said. Right. So I'm going to ask you my generic question. This podcast is Courage Coach. What does courage mean to you?
Courage means that you are able to cope up with the problems which are going to come your way. Problems are challenges, and as there was an experiment which was done, I remember
Mhm.
it was in the 68, and that experiment was that there were some rats which were kept in a cage and given a very good atmosphere of food and total safety
Mm.
and cleanliness, and the rats really enjoyed. They ate and they slept and they cleaned themselves and they multiplied. But over the years, over the months, it was seen that gradually they lost interest and this became a bit aggressive, especially the male ones. And then gradually that too stopped, and they just sat down, and they were listless. They were not interested in the food also, and then gradually they died. Why? Because they had no challenges to face. They had no problems coming their way. Everything was there for them in a comfort zone. So, what I believe is that challenges are a part of us becoming better, us becoming happier, us becoming more motivated. So, when courage means overcoming those challenges with a positive attitude, coping up with those problems without being stressed yourself, coping them up with adaptively. There is maladaptive coping also. So, courage is going into adaptive coping.
So courage, so challenges are important for us to grow and
Definitely.
to ultimately achieve happiness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Challenges, I don't call them problems. They come to make us better, make us stronger,
Mhm.
make life more happier, because the same day and the same day and the same day after day makes life monotonous and boring. So challenges make life interesting.
What is your greatest fear today?
My greatest fear. I don't have any fears.
Have you ever had fear in your
Yeah,
life?
of course. When I was not into psychology, I was always scared. I'd lose my parents. I'd of my exams, of my results. Of course, I was like a normal human being. I'm still a normal human being, except that I now have the knowledge that come what may, I should know how to cope with it. And whatever happens, I have a belief system, and it's really helped me that whatever happens, sooner or later, it will turn out to be for my good. So
Mm.
that belief system really helps me stay happy. Even if something bad happens, even if I meet with an accident today, I always have that belief system that it's come to teach me something, and it'll make me a better person.
Oh, that's a very good attitude.
Yes.
Always Like even when problems come, you see the brighter side of it,
Absolutely.
something you can learn.
That is courage again.
Hmm.
That is the
That
courage.
requires courage.
Yes.
Has there been a moment in your life where you had to act courageously despite having fear?
Yeah, when I was younger, when I was not into my counselings and therapy, there were so many times. But then there were incidences. Of course, there were accidents. There were so many things. But then, as I said, that I had courage is again something which has a ripple effect.
Mm.
Like it's transferred on from one to another. So I'd seen my dad in the army, and I'd seen him, and I'd seen my mom live the life alone when she was in the peace areas and daddy was posted into the field areas. So I'd seen a lot of courage at home.
Mm.
So I had grown up with a lot of courage. I don't normally get scared of things.
Mm. But is there a specific moment where you had to act with courage? A moment where you had to take decision, not just witnessing, but where it was part of your action and decision?
There's so many, it's a day-to-day process, Vikram. I don't exactly remember any
Okay.
such specific time,
Mhm.
but there are so many decisions which I have to make today also.
Yeah.
Like today, maybe my husband has to go and work at a different place. I have to come for my workshops at a different place. We have to travel. We have to stay separately. Now there is no need for it because our children are settled and we are we are leading a good life. But then, as I said, what is the purpose of life? Is it just to sleep, drink, eat, sleep, and be healthy? Is that the purpose? No. So I have a purpose in life, and until and unless we all have a purpose in life, life has no meaning. So there should be some goal. What am I doing it for? And if I am doing it for something higher than myself, that keeps you motivated.
Absolutely.
I do have those periods of fear. I'm scared of earthquakes, I'm scared of tsunamis. I don't want them to happen. But then I don't think about them, no. And when something will happen, I'll face it there and then, no? And I know I have the courage to do it.
What would you say to someone who is struggling right now with some challenge?
Go for therapy. It really helps. Go to a professional who can give you counseling and therapy, and it will really help you come out of it to cope up with it.
Is there some simple step that somebody can take right where they are right now in order to improve their mental health?
Of course.
What is the one thing they can do right now, whoever is listening?
Stay happy. Join my coaching class. Learn to be happy. The only antidote to mental illness is happiness. And then if you're happy, you won't even go into those the severe ones.
How can families recognize early enough that there is some distress, brewing in the children's lives?
Hmm.
How can they pick that early signs that they can nip it in the bud?
When they see that their children are acting differently from
Yeah.
what their normal behavior is,
Yeah.
either they are very irritated or frustrated or angry, or they are not sleeping well, or they are not eating well. Sleep and eating are two issues which affect the children the most. So if they're having sleepless nights, or they are tossing and turning, or if they are becoming fussy in their eatings or not eating, or if they are irritated, frustrated, or if they suddenly become quiet and they are not their usual selves, or they talk, or they stay away for long times from home, they don't come back home,
Yeah.
or they are too much on their phone
Mm.
for long hours, too much on their phones, and they switch it off, or their computers, and they switch it off when you come into their room, right? Or you find things with them which you normally which surprise you, like syringes or paper tablet wraps. Hmm? Or you find bloodshot eyes in the child, and you feel that he is not going to school, avoiding friends, or he's talking of death. These are all telltale signs that there's something wrong. And the parents need to wake up to the fact that um, just by telling them do this, do that, or controlling them will not solve the problem, they need professional help.
As one final question, what would you tell one thing about this whole issue about life and suffering to our audience? What can they take away today?
My takeaway, which I also tell myself and which I tell to all my people, is that there is nothing to know, first of all, what the other person is thinking. So stop wasting your time on what the other person is thinking or how he's behaving. Focus on yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is how long our journey on this earth is going to be. There is no way to know that, how long we are here to live. But how we live that life is totally in our control. So, how long we live, we don't know. But how we live is totally in our control. And there are just two ways of living a life: either live it happily or live it unhappily. And unhappily means it entails all the issues which we've spoken of, or be happy and live it. And the choice to live it happily or unhappily is totally 100% in our control. And this tool of choosing to do something or not to do something is given to human beings by God. It's not given to any other species or any other animal. Nobody has the skill of choosing to do anything. They just do it. Animals just eat, they just sleep. But humans have that. They can choose what they want to do. So you can choose to be happy or unhappy. It's totally your choice. But whether the other person is happy or unhappy is not in your hands. So stop trying to control other people or feel guilty for other people. That is their journey. This is your journey. You focus on your journey.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sona. It was wonderfully said in the end about that we have a choice, we have free will, and we can make our decision. Thank you for being on Courage Coach and talking to us. I'm sure the audience has picked up a lot of wisdom and knowledge from this episode. And remember, you have a choice. You've got a free will. Take the responsibility, make the right choice, make the right decision, and you can choose to be happy right now from this day onward. Thank you for tuning in. And if you've gleaned anything of value from this episode, please like, subscribe, and share it with somebody who can benefit from this one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Stay strong, stay courageous.